Good to be speaking with you. Just wanted to begin by asking you what has been your takeaway from the earnings season or from the pharma sector so far? Any big upgrades or downgrades that you've made? Any big surprises or shocks?
Hi, good morning. The 1Q FY25 numbers were pretty good for the pharma sector. We have seen good growth across business segments. The US market continued to do well. We have seen better performance in the domestic businesses as well by many of the companies. And the margins have also come in pretty well. Good margin expansion year over year for most of the companies as raw material prices remained subdued. So 1Q was a very good set of numbers for the entire pharma sector. Going forward, the coming quarters may not be as great, but still continue to expect positive momentum in the sector. Among the large companies, we have upgraded Lupin. Recently, we also upgraded Dr. Reddy's, both on the back of strong performance in the US market. Lupin especially has a very strong pipeline. Over the next 4 to 6 quarters, we expect a strong launch momentum. Because of these reasons, we have upgraded Dr. Reddy's and Lupin, which are two of our top picks in the sector.
So let's start dividing the space into 2 or 3 pockets. First, CDA, CDMA and CRO, then the oral generic and then injectable. Where do you think the trend is strong?
The trend as of now is very strong in the US generics market, including injectables as well as oral solids, maybe a bit more in the injectable space. The CDMO sector numbers, the company's reported numbers have not seen any great pickup. In many cases, there are been disappointments as well. But the stocks have done extremely well under the narrative of the US Biosecure Act, increasing outsourcing to India, China plus one story, etc. But we are yet to see any of these reflecting in the company's performance.
The idea to make a portfolio of Indian focused pharma companies, and the logic here is that if the economy is going higher, we will upgrade, we will buy better healthcare, we will buy better medicines. It could be wellness, it could be chronic, it could be acute, whatever may be the underlying factor, we would be paying more for better healthcare. So should one make a portfolio of 3-4 companies which are pure domestic, let's say a name like Mankind, and others which are largely domestic focused pharma companies?
Of course, the India domestic pharma market is a very strong market, growing steadily, probably in the high single digits, and it is a long-term growth story because the economy is growing, people are getting older, more lifestyle diseases the prevalence of lifestyle diseases is increasing. So the domestic India pharma story remains a long-term growth story. But at the same time, as of today, the US market or the US business of companies are doing much better. But the US generics business is a cyclical business. The cycle can turn at some point. At that time, the domestic market will probably become more attractive. But having said that, if from a very long-term perspective, the domestic pharma business will also give good growth. And for that, companies like Mankind, JB Chem, etc., which you mentioned, should be good bets.
What is your view on valuations within the pharma space, whether it is generic or whether it is MNC or whether it is pharma, whether it is domestic?
Valuations have across the board gone up, not just in the pharma sector. The market is also at almost peak valuations, same with pharma sector as well. The last time we have seen these levels of valuations probably in 2014-15 cycle, where again the US market was the major growth driver. We are again in that phase and multiples are high. But having said that, my view is that the generic cycle in the US, the upcycle in the US will possibly continue for another 2-3 years more. So in the near term, there is not much risk to the multiples in my view.
You rate in purely in terms of pecking order, the top 4-5 pharma companies, and when I say top 4-5 pharma companies, Sun, TVs, Cipla, Aurobindo, maybe Torrent, what would be your pecking order?
Among the large companies, our top picks are Lupin, Dr. Reddy's Labs, Zydus Life Sciences. These three are our top picks.
You have Zydus Life Sciences as your top pick because I looked at quarterly numbers, they were not very impressive.
The quarterly numbers were in fact good in my analysis. They had done exceptionally well in the US market as well as in the domestic market. In the US, they are benefiting significantly from new product launches that include generic Revlimid, generic Milbitrak. They have more product launches coming later in the financial year as well as next year. So it will continue to do well, is my assessment.
The last question into two parts. In pharma, there are consistent compounders and then there are turnaround candidates. That's the advantage if you track pharma, which you do, which is that there are a lot of times you find turnaround stroke tactical trades. Any tactical trades which could be there for next 12 to 18 months where whether the business is turning around or the financial leverage could kick in, anything which comes on the top of your mind?
Not really at this point. We do more of fundamental research, and plus, given where the markets are from a cycle perspective, most of those turning around stories are already in the price, in my view.
All right, Bino, appreciate your time. Glad you could join us. Meanwhile, markets.
If you like this video, then like, share, and subscribe to ET Now.